In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build your own ledger, which enables you to build your own customized report, similar to this one, which we've already created. So you can view the ledgers you've built within this Analyze Ledger section. But to go and build a ledger, you need to go to Layout and then click on Ledgers. And here you're going to go click New Ledger, and it will take you to this view where you can start to build out this customized report for your entity. So you're going to click on Add Data or Add Source. And then you can select what type of data you want to include. So we can include subscriptions, cash flows, or connections. So let's start by adding some subscription information. Here we can add in total. We could go and add some more specific information like price decreases or quantity decreases. So let's start by adding in total, and we can select if we want revenue or customers, MRR or ARR, and click Save. So here we've got our total MRR. We can then go and add some more of that specific information. Perhaps we want expansions. We're going to go click MRR, and then let's go and add contractions as well, and click Save. So now we've added in subscription information. You can see on the right here, it says subscription, and it's really important that as you work through this ledger, you save it. You'll see this little red icon reminding you that it hasn't yet saved the information. So we're going to click Save. We're going to give it a name. So I'm going to say subscription metrics report and click Save. And now I can go and add more information. So let's go click Add Source, and let's go and explore some of the options under cash flow. Here we can add our net volume, but we could also go add our total fees, or perhaps our total deductions, or whatever other metrics we're interested in. So let's perhaps include our refunds, and we could include it in terms of revenue or count, and then we can click Save to add it. So you'll see it's been added. And then let's go and add some more cash flow information. Perhaps we'll do payout reversals and click Save. And now we've got both our subscription information and our cash flow information. The final option here is connections. But before we go and add connections information, I just want to tell you what they are and where they come from. So connections is a place on SIFT. You can find it down here. And this is where you can go and import non-financial information or other information onto SIFT. So to go and add connections, you can click here. And here you can either do a manual input, or you can import the data using our Excel or Google Sheets connector, or you could use the Zapier integration, which can automate this process for you. And in the future, we're going to have several more integrations, which is going to make it easy for you to include all sorts of information on SIFT so that you can include it in ledgers and reports. But for now, we could go use the manual inputs or the Excel or Google Sheets connector or the Zapier integration. So to start, let's look at a manual input. So we click there. We could go use one of the templates, and these templates are there to give you an idea of the type of information you could be including. So for example, if you're a restaurant, you could select this one. And if you click Use Template, it will generate a list of metrics that you should consider using. You could go and manually input them like we've got over here. Or you could go and add a new field if you would like. So perhaps you wanted to say meals prepared, and then you could keep track of how many meals have been prepared. You can also change the units and the method of aggregation, and you can include this data on a monthly or even a daily basis. We can go and rename this to Restaurant Metrics. Now this is obviously quite a manual process, so that's why we suggest using the Google Sheets connector or our Zapier integration. And I'm going to show you this spreadsheet here where we imported some information using the Google Sheets connector. And here we had the number of demos, headcounts, new customers, and even website visitors. So you can see the type of information that you can include in SIFT. And now once this information is in this connection section, we can go and include it in a ledger. So let's go back to Layouts, Ledgers, and select the ledger that we were busy working with. So back in our subscription metrics report, we're going to go and add some connection information. So here we're going to select the spreadsheet we want to get the information from, and then we're going to go and select website visitors, headcounts, trials, and several of these non-financial metrics. You can select one or as many as you would like, and then click Save, and you'll see they all get added. So now we've included everything we want in this report, but we can still customize how this report looks. So firstly, we can move things around. If we want to move our website visits to the bottom, we can just drag and drop it over there. But we can also do some more advanced customization. So to do that, we're going to click on Add Format. And here you'll see we can add a category, a group, an equation, or a heading. So let's start by adding a heading. So we're going to say important metrics. And this would just be a heading. It'll be at the top, but you can move it wherever you would like. We can then go and add a category. So let's go and create a category for all our subscription revenue. So I'm going to say subscription revenue. and select that if it increases, it's favorable, and click save. And now I can go and select all those subscription items, so expansion MRR, total MRR, and contraction MRR. And I can then go and move this to the subscription revenue category I just created. And now you'll see it's part of this category and it has its own total. And I can go and collapse this category if I would like. Let's go and add a group so we can see the difference. So we're going to go add a group for all of our non-financial metrics. Again, we're going to say if they increase, it's favorable, and click save. And now I can go and move all these non-financial metrics. So my trials, my demos, my LTV, and my new customers. And I can go move those to this non-financial metrics group I just created and click save. And here you'll see that this is a group. You'll see it's denoted over there as a group, but it doesn't have a total. I can still collapse it if I want to summarize my reports and make it look a little bit cleaner, just like I could with this category. We could also go and add equations. So if you click on equation, you can go and build out an equation, and you can use any of the data that you've already added to this ledger to go and build out that equation. Let's go build out the equation for revenue as a percentage of website visits. So we're going to go say revenue as a percentage of web visits. We're going to say if it increases, it's favorable. This will obviously depend on your equation, as with the format. So in our case, we're going to make it percentage. And then we're going to go look for our total subscription revenue, and we're going to divide that by our website visits. So let's go find those there and click save. And you can obviously build out a more complex equation if you'd like. We're then going to click save, and you'll see our revenue as a percentage of web visits has now been created as an equation. We then have some options where we can choose what we want to show or not. Currently, we're showing 0 accounts, 0 groups, 0 categories. We could toggle on 0 equations as well, and we can choose to show a detailed view or not. So if you toggle that off, it won't show any accounts or groups. So if we toggle it off, you'll see it automatically switches off, but let's switch them all on for this video. When we're done, we're going to click save. We'll keep the name as we chose earlier and click save. And now we've built out this subscription metrics report ledger. So let's go and see what the final result looks like. So to do that, we're going to go to Analyze and then click on Ledgers. Here you'll see our subscription metrics report, and it will take us over here. And here we'll see all those metrics that we inputted. We can see this non-financial metrics group, which we can collapse. We've got our subscription revenue with its total. We have our heading and some of the other metrics that we included. And so this ledger now has a summary of all that information we included in the ledger for the current period and the prior period, along with the variance and variance percentage. We can also go and compare it to last year's value if we like, look at it in terms of a multi-period view as well, and consider how all of these metrics and values are moving over a set number of periods. We're also able to pivot this view to look at it in a slightly different way. And we can also go and build a ledger, which I'll show you in a separate video. If you want to change anything in this ledger you've created, you can just click on Manage Ledger, and it'll take you back to that ledger view where you can go and edit any of the ledgers you've previously created. When building out a ledger, you can also include layouts that you've already created for your profit and loss or balance sheet. So to do that, you click on Add Source, click on this drop down here, and you'll see Layout. Once you've clicked on Layout, you can decide whether you want to include a layout from the profit and loss or from the balance sheet. And then once you've selected one of these options, you can click on this drop down, and here you'll be able to select from any of the layouts that you've previously created. So I'm going to go and select Jay's summarized P&L and click save, and now you'll see it will input that layout for me. And this obviously makes it a lot quicker to build out a ledger if you want to include each of these aspects in a ledger. We can then go and add other information, for example non-financial or contact information, to this ledger, or we could go and add a layout for the balance sheet as well. So we could go and add Jay's balance sheet as well, and now my ledger will have the balance sheet and the profit and loss. You can obviously then go and add any other information to this ledger, but basically what this does is it makes sure that you don't have to recreate any layouts that you've already created under profit and loss or balance sheet layouts, but you can rather just copy them across here.